and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurhani Farhana binti Harmizi and my magic number is 272826. We are required to analyze the ethics and structure of governance in the real-world corporate environment. So, our group has selected 5 companies under the consumer products and services market, namely Nestle Malaysia Berhad, Dutch Lady Malaysia, Hapseng Industries Berhad, Fraser and Leaf Holdings Berhad, and PBB Group Berhad. We have collected relevant data from the annual report for 2020 on the Malaysian Stock Exchange for all selected companies. First, Nestle Malaysia Berhad is a Malaysian corporation that specializes in nutrition, health and wellness products. The company specializes in the food and beverage industry, which includes nutrition and Nestle Professional. Next, Dutch Lady Milk Industries Berhad has been a producer of cow's milk and dairy products in Malaysia. Dutch Lady Milk Industries Berhad produces and sells a variety of dairy products and fruit juice beverage, including liquid milk in various types of containers, yogurt and more. Next, Hapseng Industries Berhad is a Malaysian biscuit producer, and their principal businesses of Hapseng subsidiaries are the manufacture, sale of biscuits, coffee blends, biscuit dealers and other foodstuffs. Next, Fraser and Leaf Holdings Berhad is the oldest and most well-known food and beverage company in the region. The subsidiaries are involved in the production, distribution and dairy products and more. Lastly, Perlis Plantations Berhad, often known as PBB Group Berhad, is a Malaysian corporation involved in food production, agribusiness and more. The main business of the company is to provide flour to downstream food manufacturers, and it also has a segment for processing and distributing food, oil and household products. Now, I will present about the corporate culture. The mission of Nestle Malaysia Berhad's Good Food, Good Life aims to give consumers with the best taste and most healthy options in a variety of food and beverage categories, as well as banquets from morning to night, while Nestle's vision is to be a market-leading nutrition, health and wellness company that delivers superior shareholder value by becoming the corporate citizen of choice, preferred employer and chosen product from a favored supplier. Nestle's core values are full compliance with the law, honesty, fair dealing, integrity and respect. Next, the mission of Dutch Lady Milk Industries Berhad is to assist Malaysians in moving forward in life with a reliable dairy diet, while the company's vision is to further solidify our position as a market leader in the dairy industry, drive growth. The core value of the company is to sell high-quality dairy products that are both natural and helpful to the satisfaction of our customers. Next, the mission of Hapseng Industries Berhad is to manufacture nutritious, high-quality, well-known and well-liked food products. The company's vision is to be a well-known, reliable and excellent food company. The company's core values are honesty and integrity, entrepreneurship, responsible behavior and innovative excellence. Next, F&N's mission is to be the dominant owner and supplier of high-quality goods in ASEAN and innovative products selected and trusted by consumers. The company's vision is to be a solid and long-term leader in the ASEAN's food and beverage industry, while sustainable is the company's core value. Lastly, PBB Group Berhad's mission is to consolidate our leading position in our core business in Malaysia and expand regionally for future expansion, invest in lean operations to maximize strategy, and enhance shareholder wealth in a socially and environmentally friendly manner through management excellence. The company's vision aims to be market leader in our core sector, recognized for our long-term quality products and services, while the core values of the company is integrity in doing business fairly, openly, honestly and transparently.
Good day, my name is Heng Shuting, matric number 270450. I will present the ethical, safeguard and virtual value for the 5 company. Firstly is PBB Berhad. The company has established a nationwide employee support system that combines mandatory compliance with government standard operating procedure, the accumulation of individual and supervisor responsibility, and a hotline specially designed to support employees. The company is following Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Employees also can make internal complaints for any unethical issue. Secondly is Nestle. The company respects to the different way of thinking, culture, and society of each employee, and everyone must act in open, inclusive, fair, and honest way in the company. In addition, Nestle is strongly influenced by the NCBP business principle and employee must strictly follow the business guidelines in the NCBP. This is to avoid false belief that will affect the company reputation and culture. Next is Dutch Lady Industry Berhad. The company used the RFC Code of Business Conduct as a guide for the company. It applies to all employees of the company and standard of business conduct. The key points of the code of conduct are integrity, security, employee rights, and avoid conflicts of interest. This is to protect the company's secrecy information and data. After that is Haseng Industry Berhad. Haseng Company Code of Conduct help employees follow ethical standards. It included a code of conduct for employee, company process, and law related to the company business. All company personnel must follow the code of conduct and then report unethical behavior. In line with company culture, each employee must work together to maintain the company reputation by showing high moral character and a professional work ethic. The company expects all parties to maintain a commitment to ethics and integrity, to follow the code of conduct, and to avoid unethical behavior such as false bribery, money laundering, secrecy, and abuse of authority. Lastly is F&N Company. The company always act with integrity, honesty, false dealing, and compliance with the law in its business. F&N business principles are based on corporate business principles. F&N employees also follow the integrity, respect, and excellence in their daily work. F&N Company also follow the anti-competitive and false trading law. For new employees of F&N, the Human Resource Department should introduce the Code of Business Ethics and Conduct during orientation.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Zaima Alana binti Zainuddin and my matric number is 27296. I will explain to you whistleblowing. Whistleblowing is described as the deliberate voluntary exposure or reporting of an individual's or organization's wrongdoing. Whistleblowing is when employees disclose misbehavior, which is most commonly witnessed at work, in order to safeguard the general public. Employees, former employees, trainees, agency workers, and members of limited liability partnerships can all be whistleblowers. Complaints about whistleblowing usually include criminal offense, threats to the health and safety of individuals, actual or potential damage to the environment or violation of the law, which include contractual obligations and health and safety regulations. Whistleblowing policy is applied in all companies that have been studied, namely Nestle Malaysia Berhad, Dutch Lady Milk Industries Berhad, Hapseng Industries Berhad, Fraser and Leaf Holdings Berhad, and PPB Group Berhad. First, Nestle Malaysia Berhad's procedure is whistleblowers are urged to report to the Speak Up hotline, which is handled by an independent third party in order to safeguard the whistleblower's confidentiality. Furthermore, the company provides a whistleblowing channel to its suppliers and third-party service providers through Tell Us, which is available through the company's corporate website. Second, Dutch Lady Milk Industries Berhad. Their procedure is all workers are encouraged to use and have access to the company's whistleblowing system known as Speak Up. The Speak Up method allows workers to express their concerns about complaints and to report any allegations of misconduct, malpractice, or impropriety in the administration of the company's business and operation. Next, Hapseng Industries Berhad's procedure is to encourage employees to disclose malpractice and misconduct. A crucial project for this company is whistleblower conduct, which allows workers and external parties to disclose suspected violations of the code of conduct without fear of retaliation. Fourth, Fraser and Leaf Holdings Berhad's procedure is to adopt a whistleblower policy as part of the accountability and risk management framework, as well as measures in supporting and promoting good corporate governance practices. The company understands the immense potential of workers to uncover workplace irregularities, as well as the necessity for the company and its employees to collaborate to prevent such issues. Lastly, PPB Group Berhad's procedure is whistleblowers can make extensive reports outlining the context and history of events, as well as the reasons for their concern, by completing the whistleblower report form to the PPB website. The form can be submitted to email address, which is forwarded to approved PPB internal audit department officials.
Integrity is our key value and the driving concept for all our work choices and activities. PBB Group Berhad and its subsidiaries are dedicated to conducting business in a fair, open, honest, and transparent way. The board of directors of the group is committed to complying with the anti-bribery and corruption laws in Malaysia and other anti-bribery and corruption laws in all the countries that the group operates. Thus, this ABAC policy has been developed with the purpose of fulfilling the state legal and regulatory requirements and sets out the group's overall position on bribery and corruption in all forms, such as dealing with third parties, managing conflicts of interest, gifts, hospitality, and whistleblowing. The group takes a zero tolerance approach to all forms of bribery and corruption and shall continuously conduct its business activities ethically, honestly, and with high standards of integrity. Since the provisions in the ABAC policy are based on legal requirements, violating this policy may subject individuals and the group to penalties, including fines and imprisonment. Non-compliance by business associates and other external parties may result in sanctions, including contract termination. If non-compliance by persons or organizations has harmed the group interests, further legal action may be taken. Nestlé values a strong work ethic and strongly bans its employees, service providers, and agents from engaging in bribery and corruption, as well as any action that might give rise to the appearance or suspicions of such illegal activity. Nestlé treats third parties with care and will never pay bribes or engage in corrupt actions with them. Nestlé requires its suppliers, service providers, distributors, and third parties acting on its behalf to act with integrity and to comply with anti-bribery laws. The guidelines of anti-bribery and corruption policy for Nestlé also enables the board and employees to maintain the highest level of integrity in conducting the group's business. The group further strengthens its internal process to ensure that it is equipped with adequate procedures. For example, conducting a review of all our anti-corruption procedures, identifying and closing possible gaps, rolling out a new due diligence process in engagement of suppliers, providing an extensive company-wide training for the board, management, and employees across every department and undertaking awareness activities and communication. The action may be taken for non-compliance of anti-bribery and corruption policy they may face disciplinary action and non-employees' relationship with the principal may be terminated. Any inquiries or complaints about the actions under consideration or the interpretation of any legislation should be addressed by employees and representatives. If they accept a bribe from a person or organization doing business with the firm, they must promptly disclose it to the compliance director of their business area. Next, for Upsane Group Berhad, employees shall not engage in any corrupt behavior including extortion, collusion, breach of trust, abuse of authority, embezzlement, fraud, or money laundering. This policy applies to all relations with commercial and government entities at all levels, including interaction with their directors, employees, agents, and other representatives. Even the idea of bribery should be avoided in this company. The group's anti-bribery and anti-corruption policy leverages the core principle set out in the group's code of conduct. The scenarios provided within this policy do not limit the boundaries of the policy, which may be extended to cover all circumstances relating to bribery. The group highlighted integrity as core values in the code of conduct. This policy is established based on 5 principles of integrity as below. First principle is top-level commitment. Second principle is risk assessment. Third principle is undertake control measures. The fourth principle is systematic review, monitoring, enforcement. And fifth principle will be training and communication. Anti-bribery and anti-corruption committee shall conduct regular validation to ensure compliance to this policy. Such validation exercise may be conducted either independently by anti-bribery and anti-corruption committee or in collaboration with the external consultants. And non-compliance identified by the validation or identified through other risk assessment undertaken shall be reported to the governance and audit committee. For the Fraser and Neef Holdings Berhad, company has implemented an anti-bribery and anti-corruption management system to integrate and manage elements, policies, objectives, and procedures related to bribery and corruption risk. The ABCMs, which is Anti-Corruption Management System, as well as any relevant anti-bribery and anti-corruption legislation, must be followed by all the business associates and their employees. All business associates must disclose any actual or suspected bribery or corruption to the company as soon as possible, so that the company can investigate and take necessary action against the culprits. Next is the action taken for non-compliance is without prejudice to other rights and remedies available to the company. Any non-compliance with or violation of this code or any applicable laws may result in the suspension or termination of the relationship and contract with the business associate. Business associate may face a loss of access rights, an unsatisfactory performance rating, a punishment, accountability in a court of law, civil and criminal prosecution. For the Dutch Lady Milk Industries Berhad, the company has adopted RFC's anti-bribery and corruption policy, which is known as Doing Honest Business Policy. The policy has been localized to set out values in Malaysian ringgit for easy application by the company's employees and stakeholders. To ensure that adequate monitoring of all anti-corruption compliance matters is carried out, the company's legal counsel has been charged with the responsibility to review and monitor all procedures, advise and report to the management and the board of directors on this matter. The action taken for non-compliance is the commercial organization will be punishable with a fine who is against anti-bribery and corruption policy. If any person convicted under the Prevention of Corruption Act subsequently commits an offence under the Act, they will be subject to a prison term of between 5 and 10 years as well as fine.
Hi, my name is Pauline Silverach. My metric number is 277423. Now, I would like to explain on corporate social responsibility, which is called CSR. CSR is a program arrangement of activities that helps an organization with being capable to itself, its compliances and individuals in common. CSR consists of 4 levels, which are economic, legal, ethical and philanthropic responsibilities. Economic responsibility. Economic responsibility is the first level of CSR. Nestle has transformed waste management into a more important need in 2020. Dutch Lady Milk Industries uses bioanimal advancement in their wastewater treatment plant that conveyed 443 tons of biostock for manure in 2020. Upside Industries financial specialists and managing an account accessory allow them money-related resources to work and expand in their commercial center. FNN endeavors to convey their pure enjoyment, pure goodness guarantee to their customers by offering more choices in various item classes, better choices without thinking twice about the taste, and the accommodation through separation in bundling to take them into account clients' advancing requirements. PBB Group perceives environmental change to be an important danger to the organizations. To reduce the dangers related to the changing climate designs and effect on crops, PBB Group has set up elective wellspring and unrefined component. Next is legal responsibility, which is the second level of CSR. Nestle is providing nutritional information to consumers. Giving exact data on wholesome substance and fixing is the significant part of enabling customers to make better decisions. Dutch Lady Milk Industries communicates to secure nourishment and extraordinary quality things to buyers, whereas showing consistency with the laws and guidelines. Upside Industries are resolved to deliver protected and top-notch food, follow severe item and fixing principles intended to guarantee the security and quality of every one of their items. FNN accept that the data given to clients ought to be as extensive as could they really be expected. They go past compulsory necessities. PBB Group's food creation activities have a division explicit articulation of consistency with standards specified under the Environmental Quality Regulation 2014. Moreover, ethical responsibility is the third level of CSR, decreasing Nestle's waste all through fabricating forms, counting the provision utilization of asset as well as the reusing the dependent transfer of all wastage created. Dutch Lady Milk Industries stays focused on giving halal items to their shoppers by setting up halal frameworks. This covers the best expectation of cleanliness. Upside Industries decrease the bundling wastage at the source and recuperate waste materials and offer them to authorized piece gatherers for recycling. FNN play a basic part to play in limiting the natural impression and assume that the assignment of advancing natural awareness in their networks and consider it to be the another need. PBB Group's Natural Designing and Utility Division adds to the safeguarding of the climate through its skill and asset in the development of sewage and water treatment plants. Lastly, philanthropic responsibility is the last level of CSR. 15 Nestle volunteers share in squeezing back-to-school units containing school supplies and necessities for the understudies all over the Malaysia. Dutch Lady Milk Industries has coordinated the Ramadan charity program to genuinely necessary sustenance to the local area people. Upside industries served by supporting asset raising efforts similar to Sinchu Foundation, Patient Heart Fund, Beautiful Gate Foundation for the Handicapped. FNN gave fundamental necessities and family things to help the home. PBB Group has recognized the most squeezing needs such as clean water supply, disinfection offices, power and legitimate safe house for the orang asli.
Good day, Prof. My name is Tan Kok Shin, metric number 269644. Now I'm going to present on the board of directors. An effective board generally has a well-balanced board composition which consists of experienced and qualified individuals from different backgrounds. The diversity of a board structure is essential in increasing the range of perspectives, skills, expertise, and experience, which will boost the board's effectiveness in making good decisions and strategy planning. Besides that, board independence is also vital in ensuring that the executive authorities are not misused by the board members so that the board's efficiency can be maintained and corporation's performance can be improved. Therefore, the appointment of new board of directors and senior management members are recommended to be accessed based on a diverse demographic and psychographic information. According to the provisions of Malaysian Code of Corporate Governance 2021, at least half of the board of a corporation should be comprised by the independent directors, while the board of large corporations should have majority independent directors. In addition, the board should have at least 30% of female directors. The corporation's policy on gender diversity of the board and senior management is required to be disclosed in the annual report. Meanwhile, based on the main listing requirement, a listed corporation should have a minimum of 2 directors, or 1/3 of the board need to comprise of independent directors. For Nestlé Malaysia Berhad, there are 7 board of directors comprising a majority of independent non-executive directors and directors with a broad range of experience, skills, and expertise from a diverse range of backgrounds. The 7 board of directors consists of 4 independent directors and 3 non-independent directors. The age of the directors of Nestlé Malaysia Berhad is in the range of 47 to 70. In terms of nationality, 71% of the directors are Malaysian, which are 4 Malays and 1 Indian. In terms of gender, 3 out of 7 directors are female, which show 43% of females on board. For Dutch Lady Milk Industry Berhad, the board has 8 members consisting of 4 independent and 4 non-independent directors. In terms of gender diversity, 4 out of 8 board of directors are female, which show 50% of females on the board. The board considers that the current composition fairly reflects the foreign direct investment and the investment of the minority shareholders. The proportion of independent directors ensure effective checks and balances on the board, and the independent directors effectively safeguard the interests of the minority shareholders. For Hub Seng Industry Berhad, there are 10 board of directors consist of 4 independent directors and 6 non-independent directors. This shows that the independent directors on board is 40%, which comply to the main listing requirement but did not fulfill the requirement of the Malaysian Code of Corporate Governance 2021. However, Hub Seng Industry Berhad has embedded gender diversity, which fulfill the requirements of at least 30% of female directors stated in the Malaysian Code of Corporate Governance 2021. Out of 10 directors, there are 3 female directors. In terms of ethnicity, 7 of the directors are Chinese and 3 of the directors are Malay. For Fraser and Neave Holdings Berhad, the present board comprises 11 non-executive directors with 6 independent directors and 5 non-independent directors. The representation of independent directors on the board remained at 55% throughout the financial year 2020. The age of the directors of Fraser and Neave Holdings Berhad is in the range of 48 to 78. In terms of ethnicity, 6 of the directors are Malay, 4 of the directors are Chinese, and 1 of the directors from other ethnic. In terms of gender, 3 out of 11 directors are female, which shows 27% of females on the board. As such, the gender diversity does not fulfill the requirements of at least 30% of female directors stated in the Malaysian Code of Corporate Governance 2021. For PPB Group Berhad, there are 7 board of directors consist of 4 independent directors and 3 non-independent directors. The 3 non-independent directors include 2 non-executive directors and the managing director. The age of the directors of PBB Group Berhad is in the range of 56 to 82. In terms of gender diversity, there's presently no formal gender diversity policy. Only 1 out of 7 directors is female, which shows 14% of females on the board. As such, the gender diversity does not fulfill the requirements of at least 30% of female directors stated in the Malaysian Code of Corporate Governance 2021. That's all from me. Thank you.
Stakeholders are a group of people that can have an impact or be affected by the performance of a company. The stakeholders include employees, members of society, government regulation, customers, suppliers, or any other partner. A stakeholder is critical to a company's long-term success as well as day-to-day operations. First of all, society can directly influence the corporation towards sustainability by giving a good impression or branding. Nowadays, getting promoted on trending on social media platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook is easy. Thus, when a company creates a value for society, they will get publicity and be recognized by society. For example, FNN is a cooperating with local councils to generate collateral to enhance awareness of COVID-19 prevention in 430 Malaysian schools. This shows that the company is concerned about the epidemic situation as well as the people which adds value to the company leading to sustainability. Next, government regulation plays a vital role in affecting corporation sustainability. Government can utilize a range of policy tools, including legislation, fiscal measures, and legal agreement to implement changes and improvement to the country. In the short term, government may prioritize macroeconomic stabilization measures such as increasing spending or lowering tax to stimulate a failing economy. Meanwhile, in the longer term, supply-side action to improve infrastructure or education could be utilized to foster sustainable growth or poverty eradication. For example, corporations will have to pay high tax to the government that adversely impact their profit. As a result, the company's long-term direction and sustainability will also be affected by the government regulation. In addition, consumers also have a high influence on the sustainability of corporation. Consumers play a role in influencing the demand in the market, which directly affects the sales of a company. If the company is not fulfilling consumer demand and certification, the consumer will change their preference to the product of another company that gives them high certification. Thus, paying attention to consumer needs such as a good quality and safety is important to sustainably operating in the market. For instance, Hubseng conducted a survey for their customer about their needs and suggestions to improve their product. Furthermore, employees also contribute to a corporation's sustainability through sustainable employment, where an employee is capable of adding value to an organization both now and in the future. When employees enhance their skills, expertise, and knowledge, they become valuable addition to the firms. With the assistance of the employees, the organization will be able to accomplish its long-term and short-term objective. Thus, a corporation must look after their employees by offering benefits as well as a comfortable and safe working environment. For example, Nestle invests in the training and development of its workers. As such, the employees will develop a sense of loyalty to the company and will stay since they feel comfortable working in a positive atmosphere. Stakeholders are critical to a corporation's long-term viability. Distinct stakeholder roles bring different benefits to a corporation's sustainability. As a result, the firm must consider all stakeholders in order to remain competitive. According to our analysis, all the companies we choose, including Nestle, Hubseng, Lady, FNN, and PPB, were doing an excellent job of looking after their stakeholders. As a result, we believe that this is one of the reasons this company have been able to endure for so long. In a nutshell, we believe that all companies listed on Bursa Malaysia have a strong corporate governance structure and adhere to ethical values. According to our analysis, corporate culture, ethical safeguard and virtue values, whistleblowing policy, anti-bribery policy, corporate social responsibility (CSR), board of directors, and sustainability are extremely important to every company, including the food and beverage manufacturing companies that we analyze. All 5 companies selected fully apply the ethics and governance system that we have identified. Plus, all of the companies have a positive response to corporate social responsibility at all levels. The implementation of all levels of corporate social responsibility not only fulfill the responsibility to help society, but also build a good reputation and image for the corporation. Finally, all 5 corporations selected have a strong and long-term governance frameworks, which will help to create an ethical corporate culture, leading to greater performance and long-term profitability.